Hi, everyone. It's me again. I wanted to come on here today to just talk about outsourcing because a lot of times, a lot of us have so many things on our plate and it can get very overwhelming. So, I just started outsourcing this year, so I figured I can kind of explain a little bit about the process and things that you need to have set up and things that maybe you don't want to outsource and things like that. Okay. So, first things first, I'm sure you guys all have teachers pay teachers, and you might have started it because you're already making these resources. So, it's just an easy way to make some extra money. And there are a lot of steps if you really want to treat your business like a business. Like if you are done treating it just like a hobby and you're ready to treat it like a business, there are so many things to do that you may not have considered before. So that's really just like the benefit of outsourcing or hiring a virtual assistant. And you can do that by like hiring one virtual assistant or a couple virtual assistant for different things, or just outsourcing some projects here and there. But it saves you so much time and it can really be a great return on investment. So if you guys like the information in today's video and want to see further videos, please hit the like button, subscribe. It would mean so much. All right. So, like I said, there's so many advantages of outsourcing. Like it saves your time and energy. So, before I started to do this, I was spending so much time on certain things for TPT, like previews or covers, and it just seemed so monotonous, and I just like it made me dread creating resources because I knew I would get to that point, and the creating resources was the part that I enjoyed, but since I knew that part was coming up, it was like, oh, I just don't want to do that again. So since outsourcing, I've been able to give my virtual assistant some of those tasks, such as creating previews and covers. So that saves me time because now I don't have to do that and I can put my focus somewhere else. And it saves me energy because one, I'm not dreading those tasks anymore. So now I'm sure, creating a better resource in turn. But it also allows you to focus on core business tasks. Creating a cover is not a core business task, in my opinion. In my opinion, core business tasks are marketing things, SEO, so maybe like email marketing, blogs, SEO, actually creating the resources, and updating resources. So if I'm not creating those covers and thumbnails, now I have more time for those other core business tasks. But we're not done with the advantages. It also increases your productivity and efficiency. So then you're able to kind of focus on one specific area of your business or a couple specific areas, or the same thing for your VA. And you're not focusing on everything. So you're becoming more of a master of one thing versus a non-master of everything, if that makes sense. And I feel like I've read a lot of books where it's talked about that. It's like really putting your energy into one thing, because it's better to become a master at one thing than to know a bunch of skills a little bit. So some tasks that you can outsource or hire a virtual assistant for are customer service. A lot of times we have feedback to reply to on our resources or emails and things like that. You can also hire a virtual assistant to post your resources. And that's another thing that takes me so much time. I don't know about you, but it definitely used to take me so much time just taking those resources and posting them once they were finished. And I have my VA do all of that now. Social media management. If you have an Instagram or a Facebook group or TikTok, you can have your VA assist you with that. They can do data analytics for it. They can come up with content ideas. If it's faceless, they can create the videos for you or pictures for you. So that's really great. Email marketing is my favorite one, just because I feel like it just takes a long time to write so many emails. Well, that might not be my favorite. My favorite one is blogs, because for some reason I love to read blogs, but I do not like writing them. But the email marketing is okay to me because I feel like it's a little more informal, especially right now. But I still do like to have my VA help me with some email marketing. And then last but not least, another task you can outsource is a bookkeeping and accounting. If you have any information going in, like data, you can have your VA keep track of that for you. All right, so now that we've talked about the benefits of a virtual assistant and some tasks that you can outsource, let's talk a little bit about how to hire a virtual assistant. So first, it's really important to identify your needs. You don't want to go into hiring a virtual assistant without having any systems in place or knowing what you want them to do. You can't just say, oh, here, fix this. Like, you need to have specific things so that your virtual assistant knows if they're doing it well or not. So make sure you identify your needs. So for me, one of my needs was email marketing and creating a consistent weekly email. That's one of my needs. One of my needs is posting resources. That's another one of my needs. Okay, so definitely make sure you identify your needs. Some of your needs, like, might not be those. Maybe you really enjoy writing emails, so then you don't need to outsource that if you really enjoy it. Something else you have to think about is finding the right fit. Okay, you don't want to just hire just anyone just because. You really want to make sure that the person is right for you. And a great way of doing that, I know a lot of people have in the application process, they put something in there, like in the last couple of lines, it'll say like, oh, in your reply, put this next to the subject line or something like that. So that's really easy to see who followed those directions. And then the next step, you can give them a sample project to see how their work is, to see if they would be a right fit. I've heard some stories about like a VA who applied somewhere and they took longer than expected on the project and then did not as well as someone else that finished it a lot earlier. And then you are kind of able to use your judgment skills of who would be better for your role. But once you do that, once you find your right fit, and right now I love my VA, she's fantastic, and once you find the right fit, make sure you set expectations and communication. So I had created a project management system in Google Sheets so that it has everything on there and it's all in a Google Drive. Training is in a Google Drive. That's necessary. I cannot talk today. That's necessary as well, providing training. And you want to make sure that you set up your VA for success. Otherwise, you're just going to have to keep giving them feedback. But I really suggest once you do the first week, having a meeting with your VA so that you can just go over some things and give some feedback, check in with how it's going, so that you can both get a sense of, okay, was that too overwhelming for my VA? Was that enough for my VA? Was my VA able to handle it? Do I need them to do something different? All of those things are really important. All right, so make sure you identify your needs, find the right fit, set clear expectations, provide training, and then also when you hire your VA, I would if they don't have an agreement, I would come up with an agreement. So make sure that you are setting the compensation schedule and make sure you are saying who owns the material. Do you own the material or does your VA own the material? Once you have your VA, like I said, like make sure you have clear guidelines and instructions. Make sure you check in regularly with your VA. I check in every single day with my VA by using those project management tools, and it's really easy for us to use Google Sheets. I know there's a lot of other ones like Asana, Monday, but I just like Google Sheets, and it's easy for us to both see our comments on there. Build a positive and productive relationship and delegate your tasks effectively, right? Like, don't give them too much. Don't give them a little bit of everything where it's so confusing they don't even know what to do. All right. So, like I said, make sure you think about if you really want a VA, which I highly suggest it, what tasks you can outsource, find the right fit, delegate your tasks effectively, and check in with regular feedback. I really recommend outsourcing or hiring a virtual assistant. And something I did, because I know a lot of times a lot of TPT sellers, especially in the beginning, may not think that you can afford a VA, but there are a lot of affordable places, such as hiring from the Philippines. So there's Online Jobs PH and Virtual PH, and I'm sure there's some others as well. Okay, so I definitely recommend looking out to those sites if you are interested in hiring a VA. But then if you're not interested in hiring from the Philippines and you are able to afford some more expenses, then there are some Facebook groups for specific for TPT VAs. So I would try that as well. All of their work looks really well. I cannot talk. All of their work looks really good, and they all have portfolios. A lot of them are in the TPT community. Okay. Like I said, if you guys like this video, make sure to like it, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.